Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another fun-filled episode of the Crypto Maniacs Podcast. I'm John Gro. That's Task. We all like long walks on the beach, Yanni CDs, uh, or is that the wrong show? That's the dating show that we're right. Okay, sorry, wrong one. No,
Well, and you're married, so why are you on dating shows?
exactly. What the heck
Or,
is wrong with me?
or do
Jeez.
you have one of those modern marriages?
No, definitely not. No. Happily married, happily married. How you doing, man? It's been a while. I was trying to engage with you on the weekend in threads. You didn't respond to me, so I was like, damn, dude, this guy like got me on mute already. Did Cal release a mute button that I wasn't aware of?
I
No.
responded some. I didn't spend a lot of time on threads this weekend. I've been working on Leo Glossary and adding
Yes,
to
I
that
saw that.
and
Yes.
then building my playlists and doing different things. And
How did that go? I saw you building the '80s playlist, man. How was that going?
uh, I think it's a fabulous idea. It seems like the stuff is staying. See, the problem I was concerned with, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about or what we're talking about, I did a experiment, and
Mhm.
me and actually Wealth West got involved in this too. And it's to build a playlist on Leo Threads. So how do you
Mhm.
do this? Well, what I did is I simply put up a thread, 80s playlist or whatever I titled it. And then every reply is I took a link from a YouTube video, Van Halen or, ACDC or whatever, and I would post it in the replies. So it was a container full of all these different songs. And I did one of the 80s and 90s. I did one of like movie songs. I did one today of Van Halen songs. And what it is, and I bookmarked it. So now I have these containers that are basically playlists and have anywhere from 25 to 75
So
different.
you've made mixtapes, is what you're saying?
Essentially it's I made a playlist, if you will. Yeah, it's like yeah, it was like going back to the old days where you just recorded songs on your double cassette tape boombox, where you could play on one and record on the other. um,
Yes.
and
Love it.
the big thing I was concerned about is, and I don't know, it's probably been 2 weeks or a week and a half since I did the first one. It's still there because we had a problem with threads being all of a sudden turning up not indexed. And, so I wasn't sure if this would hold, if it would stay or not. And so now it stays. And so now I have all these songs on a playlist. I keep dropping the links. And what's cool is other people can go in and listen. And if you want to, listen to some 80s music, it's all right there. The cool thing is you're using Leo Threads kind of as the front end. So you click on a song, it opens up in its own page. That's a click for the page. That's ad revenue. And, it allows for you to then listen to the music, then go back to the main thread, the main container, and then scroll through to another one. And anybody can set this up and do it for themselves. And instead of just going to YouTube and just going through your playlist on YouTube, set up your playlist on Threads, and you're listening to it from YouTube, but because that's where it's housed. But it's just a cool way to utilize Threads in a different manner.
I love it, man. I love it. I was watching some of the. We have similar taste in '80s music, man. I appreciated some
You
of
know,
it, and you asked me. I'm into '80s music.
yeah, it's that's a good stuff, man. Before grunge killed it.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. It did.
Pearl Jam.
Seattle, damn you,
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah. Um, so that's just it. Again, it's just trying to be innovative of ways to utilize threads, to utilize Leo as a front end, and to use this idea of container. Somebody else started to do it today, and they're doing food, and the guy put up a picture of some type of soup, and then in the thread he had the recipe, the ingredients, what you need to prepare it. And that's what this guy's doing, is he's just going to do all these things for food, and use Leo Finance or Leo Threads for recipes. And that's just showing the versatility of this, and using a decentralized database. And if he's tagging them as recipes, I imagine you go to the recipe tag and you'll find all these recipes there.
Love
That
it. Love it.
that's really where things are. How we have to try to think about this stuff and get creative. I mean, the Threadcast. That's essentially what a Threadcast is.
Yeah.
If you and I are watching the Bills Patriots game, and we set up a Threadcast, and 2, 3, 4, 5 of us can get in there and talk about the Bills Patriots game, even if we're watching it from different corners of this continent, and just say, well, once again, Belichick being a jackass, and all that other stuff. And it's the same type of idea. Using this container, using this thread with the information underneath. So that was something that myself and Wealthwise created, and it seems to work very well. So that's one thing going to be pushed is, hey, did you set up a playlist? I mean, why not? I mean, it's pretty easy to do. Just go through your favorite music on YouTube. And I imagine this same thing. I don't use Spotify, but I imagine, because I've seen people drop like Spotify into Threads. So I imagine you could do the same thing with Spotify. Just create your playlist in Threads, bookmark it, and fill it with, whatever Spotify songs you want to listen to. And use each of those Spotify links as a thread.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really use the Spotify stuff. I'll link to it every now and again, but I don't even sign into my account or anything. But yeah, for sure, it's getting a lot of attention in Vim. We got Captain Silva is already going, "Oh, I can do this with Threads." I'm like, yes, you can. You're only limited by your imagination with Leo Threads. Feels weird saying Threads nowadays, huh? With the meta that shall be remain nameless. We won't even touch that with a 10-foot pole. We got a ton of questions, man. You ready to, people showed up today. You ready for this?
Sure.
I actually, I don't know if you saw, but I did a John Go cast the other day.
I saw that. Sunday, I didn't see the cast. I saw you were doing it. I saw you wrote up about it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do on Sunday because the sports guys were all kind of like, they, went and did their own thing. And I was like, I'll just go live. So it turned out. So John Timms definitely stepped up with massive questions, not only for my cast, but for today as well. So lots of stuff coming from him and Tokenized and a whole bunch of other people. So we'll dive right in. Wish you guys a great show. Thank you. Appreciate it. You catch the Leo AMA this morning. I missed it. What did you think about it? I didn't. I was doing truck things. Did you catch it?
Yes, I did, and it was actually a long one. It was 2 hours, and they have 5 new partnerships. One of the ones who was in the partnership was on. Don't ask me what it is. It's one of the new communities they've set up. This is what the Nomad Soul's working on. And the idea is they set up a community, and they look to bring these communities over and have these communities post their content through Leo Finance instead of going through Medium. So that was a pretty cool thing. This was a fork of Ethereum, some type of blockchain that is for gaming. And so they're looking to build games on this blockchain, this Ethereum blockchain, or Ethereum fork blockchain. But I thought the most important thing that was said on the AMA, in fact, I just wrote an article about it, is Cal has kind of released an idea that he has for evergreen content, and the idea of bringing that to life based upon the ad revenue, because you have articles out there that were written 2 decades ago. I mean, Kevin Kelly has a couple articles that were written in like 2004, 2005 that are just legendary, and they get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views, even though they're 20, almost 20 years old, 18 years old. And, once you have evergreen content as a platform, that can always drive traffic. So the idea is that perhaps the ad revenue situation, the ad revenue program will be expanded at some point where those who write these articles that generate traffic start to get a portion of the ad revenue, which, now you have incentive to put up good quality content, go back, edit your content, go back and through and refresh your old content, add to it, expand it, try to make it on topics that can end up getting ranked, can drive some traffic. And, potentially down the line, you get some of these articles that are generating thousands of clicks a month. I mean, you could have people off of getting a couple $100 off older articles. Nothing wrong with that. So I thought that was very, very interesting.
One of the things I've stressed over the years is the importance of, I call it stock and flow content. Your flow content is your daily, in your face, just to remind people that you're there. Threading with people, doing threadcasts, doing containers, doing whatever. That's your flow content. But your stock content is your pillar content. It's the stuff that people will know you for. For you, it'd be your Leo Glossary stuff, your work with Leo Glossary. For me, I had my $2.74 a day blog post that I did 15 years ago that people still reference. So the importance of having that pillar content is so paramount to content creators, online entrepreneurs, everybody that's trying to build an online brand or presence. That type of stuff is paramount to the success. Well, with Hive, up until what you just mentioned with Leo, you didn't have that, because it was like after the 7-day
window, and it's like, who cares,
right? And you wouldn't drive traffic to it because it was kind of like, what's the point?
Well, and it's that older content that keeps driving the traffic to the platform.
Right.
That, I mean, I understand with Web3 and, blockchain and, the search engine rankings, there's challenges, because it's under multiple front ends and, okay, we can't control that. But, the articles you write, and I even wrote about this in my article tonight, this is kind of like a wiki type scenario, in the fact that you got a communal platform that in totality looks to rank, but then each individual can benefit, whereas in traditional content creation, online marketing, you have your own website, you write the content, you got to try to get your website ranking, and there's nothing else assisting you. Well, if you get a Leo Finance article ranking, John, that helps all my stuff, because one article ranking helps the entire platform. Now it's not necessarily going to drive anything to me, but it does help in the fact that if the platform gets these articles ranking in certain categories, that helps the other stuff.
Right. Yeah. Good point. He follows this up with, is the ad counter back for good, or is Cal just teasing us and taking it away at midnight for lulls? Do you understand lulls? Do you know that reference?
Yeah, I don't know if Cal actually controls it. It seems like they do an update and shit breaks, and they probably have to take it down because it's like it causes more problems. And so I don't even know if he's the one who makes the call on that. It's probably the developers, and they go something live and there's bugs, and it's like, okay, we'll turn off the ad counter because that's causing problems now. And so I don't know. I'm hoping it's back for good, but
it is definitely a nice gauge to see, how much traffic's being generated and how much engagement is happening with your specific thread.
Well, and it's also a reminder there, press on the damn thread before commenting. It's clicks are important. Organic clicks are important. And you don't want to go out and game stuff and try to manipulate the system. But if there's a thread there and you're going to comment it, click on the damn thread, comment that, it's just that simple. And I really want to see the counter headed to the long form content. And that's again going back to what we were talking about before. What that does is that brings in lifetime clicks. So all of a sudden, if you have an article, John, that you wrote 4 years ago, and all of a sudden you go back and you refresh it, and it's about whatever, and all of a sudden it starts getting a little traffic, and you start to look at it. I'm really interested in this for Leo Glossary, because obviously that's something, that pages that people should be going to on a regular basis, and all of a sudden you start to see the total clicks of certain pages like cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or Hive Glossary or whatever. And you start to see, and there's 100, then 250, then 500, then 1,000. That's going to make lifetime clicks very important. And like you said, overall, it will show the popularity of certain articles or certain topics or certain things of that nature. And also, I mean, let's be honest, if there's an article of yours that is ranking, and I write an article, similar topic, I might want to link your article into mine to try to enhance it, because you rank well in, the Bitcoin category, let's say.
Like internet marketers for forever just love metrics. They love numbers.
Yeah.
They love seeing these type of things that they can measure and judge, like, hey, is my effort paying off? Well, this also caters to investors too. Like, I mean, not only are you doing your content great, and this is Web3, like, this is the beauty of it, because it combines these different like genres of people, the investor and the marketer, and puts them all together and says, hey, go nuts, go and produce content, go and engage with people, go and have fun with this stuff, because oh yeah, here's the number, this is why. What does that number mean? Oh, stake and earn. Like, I mean, so
Yeah, well, it's stake and earn, and now potentially it's like, well, you wrote a kick-ass article, and these people come and say, I wrote this wonderful article. Oh yeah, nobody upvotes me, and I wrote Pulitzer Prize winning shit. Okay, well, now we got the answer to that. Oh, your Pulitzer Prize winning shit over the last 4 months has gotten exactly 2 views. Right. So your Pulitzer Prize written shit isn't attracting any viewers. Fix it. I mean, or shut up, or go away, or do something. Because if you're taking the long-term view, like you said, building a brand, building platforms, aligning incentives, and all of this is, okay, how can I put together stuff that gets lifetime clicks up? And obviously we're talking, I mean, this was the first I heard the idea on the AMA, but it was like, damn, this Leo ad shit is very flexible, and what a great idea. And why not? Why not say, okay, of the revenue generated off, articles that produce, I don't know, whatever baseline you establish, if it produces $100 a month in ad revenue, you give $50 to the author or whatever. I mean, now if you have hundreds of good articles out there, well, guess what? You stand a better chance.
Good point. Follows it up too with, will a BTC spot ETF actually get approved this year in the US? I'm still skeptical despite the BlackRock news.
I don't know what type of time frame the SEC is going to operate on, but I think the CFTC just gave Grayscale a huge pat on the back by allowing that to be, I forget what the hell they call it, but basically Grayscale is going to be the one responsible. And BlackRock, I think, tied into Grayscale, and a bunch of them tied into Grayscale for the, to provide the anti-money laundering, the know your customer, all that bullshit, and to make sure all that's aligned up. So, I mean, I can't say what the time frame is of the SEC, but I would say this stuff's going through.
Yeah. If people can make money off it, they will make it.
Well, if Wall Street can make
Wall Street, excuse me, yes, Wall Street.
That's what I think Gensler wants.
Yep. Is the brick gold-backed currency actually going to happen this year, or is it all BS?
I think it's all gold bug BS. To be
Gold
honest
bug
with you.
BS.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Mm.
It's I wrote it. I wrote an article about that 2 days ago, and anybody who understands anything about the monetary system, about the financial system, understands that this is just the dumbest idea in the world. First off, if you know your history, Charles de Gaulle destroyed the idea of gold-backed money. Because what is gold-backed currency? It's your currency is redeemable for gold. Gold bugs say that's wonderful. The United States could obliterate this currency in a year. You know how they do it, Django? They say, okay, any exports from the US can be purchased using this currency, this brick currency. And for a year, everything the United States sells externally is paid for to these BRIC nations, or any of these nations in this coalition are paid for using this currency. And after a year, you got all this currency, you turn around and you say, we don't want your currency, give us the gold. And that's exactly what Charles de Gaulle did. He sent two ships right into New York Harbor saying, here's your dollars, give me the gold. That's the problem with that type of system. And, the U.S. doesn't even have to do it. Guess who's going to win in that one? China, because they're the major exporter. So they're going to end up with all the currency, and they can turn around and say, we want the gold. Then you're adding in, who's going to hold the gold? Who's going to custody it? Is China? Is Russia? Now you got to have somebody to custody the gold. There's so many problems with it in the debt. The euro, it was designed on this type of system, and they didn't consolidate the debt. Are you going to consolidate the debt of all these nations? And then, now you're encountering even more Forex risk because of the simple fact that who is the largest market in the world? The United States. Who's the largest market? That's 70% consumption. The United States. Do you think these motherfuckers want to sell to the United States? Yeah. Guess what? We're not paying in brick currency. We're paying in dollars. So now you got FX risk where you have to go and take dollars and then swap it back out. It makes absolutely no sense. And then you get all your debt, and what happens? Your local currency gets crushed by 20%, and now you got to pay for that dollar-denominated debt with your currency, and you have no dollars. What do? Your price of your debt just went up to 20%. I mean, these are all fundamental flaws that none of these articles that talk about this even mention. It's like, we'll just bring out a gold-backed currency. And it's like, what are you, crazy? So no, it won't go. It won't be successful. It's just it. And the other thing is, here's another thing, Django. Politicians. Do you think politicians are going to give up that control? You think politicians are going to give up their sovereignty to some centralized entity that's in charge of this gold-backed currency? No. And they're not going to do that in South Africa. They're not going to do that in Brazil. Xi's certainly not giving up the control. Putin's not giving up the control. They're not going to do it.
There you go. That was our gold and silver part of the show. Now back to crypto. Tokenized. Hello, Maniacs. Hello, Tokenized. Do you think we should use meta threads to promote Web3 stuff just like you've been doing on Twitter? Well, you're going to get banned pretty quickly. Threads, the meta version, has been banning things left, right, and center. If you don't fall in line with their community guidelines, which is on Instagram, which is on Facebook, you are not going to get past the gatekeepers. So
now, John, let me interrupt you and ask, if you have your Threads account and you fall out of line and you get your account, you get zapped, do you also lose your Instagram and Facebook access?
Do you
lose it?
Well, you lose. Well, this is what's funny about meta threads. You can't delete your account unless you delete Instagram. So if you delete it, as soon as you linked your account to Instagram, the only way for you to delete Threads. So yes, if you lose your Threads account, you could potentially lose your Instagram account.
Oh, okay. It's Threads and Instagram are together.
Yeah, they're the ones that are attached at the hip.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so if you get your Threads account banned, you lose your Instagram account.
Potentially, that's how it would work. All I've seen is people their accounts shut down on Threads. I haven't, but you take what I say with a grain of salt, because I gave about 48 hours of attention to Meta Threads, and then I was like sick of it. Like, it was just it's a glorified Instagram with words. That's all it is. It's
that was 48 hours too much.
Yeah, literally. I feel stupider just going looking there. It's the Facebook Instagram model. Like, do what we say, and if you don't follow what we say, we'll shut you up, because we can, and you have no recourse. But people don't care. People really don't care. At the end of the day, they just want to be where their friends are and where the TikTokers are. So for me, though, it's an awful experience. I hated it. Like, I was never an Instagram guy anyways. Like, I have Facebook. I'm streaming on Facebook right now because this is where my friends and family, hello friends, offline friends, just for me to be in front of them. This is my flow content to remind people that I'm still out there and doing stuff. So I could care less about Meta's Threads. Like, it's definitely not a Twitter killer. The kids will love it because it's all pictures. It's Instagram. But it's not. I'm going to go to Threads for my news. Like, it's not there at all. So,
well, and to answer the question, Tokenize, I don't believe so, because I think the idea of trying to promote this stuff on Web 2 is just moronic. It hasn't worked. So what the fuck are we still beating our heads against the wall when it hasn't worked, and sitting there saying, well, it's because we're shadow banned on Twitter? Well, then why the fuck are we still on Twitter? And, my view is build the product up first. If we had 50,000 threads a day, then we'd have something to talk about. And instead of 2,000 threads a day. So if we were doing 50,000 threads a day and we have all this activity, then we have something to talk about. Then you add in ad revenue, and you have all these clicks, and you have all this other stuff, and all the numbers look good. And it's like, then all of a sudden it's like, well, now you have something to promote.
Yeah. I think that's you and I have spoken about this over the years. It's, we're always looking for the influencer to embrace what we're doing here. It's like, no, we have our own influencers. We have our own community.
We don't even need
our own brands here.
You fucking people. It's Threads. There's no influencers, just fucking Thread.
Yeah.
Instead of
just
putting
get out there and be active.
Yeah, instead of putting fucking 25, 30, 50 tweets out a day and comments, do it on Threads. You get 500 people doing that. Now all of a sudden you get some numbers.
This is a good one too. Tokenize follows it up with, is there a limit to how many people you can follow or how many followers you can have on Hive?
No, I don't. Well, maybe there's a limit. I don't know. I've seen I forget what, like, Block Trades had. He had like a stupid number.
I'll go check.
I forget what he had. So I think that was probably the number one followed account.
He's got 30,010.
Yeah, so 30,010 is at least.
Yeah. I don't think there's definitely not a limit. It's whoever follows you.
I don't think they'd have a limit. No, I think you could have 140 million accounts following you if there was 140 million accounts. I don't think there's anything in the blockchain that says you can't.
Got Captain Silva and Crazy Cowboy Arts. Apologies for not checking out Vim. I was checking out the Threadcast here. But he said, what does it mean to be shadow banned? I know it doesn't mean something good. It's just basically these, Twitter is famous for this. I don't know how much they do of it anymore, but they did it a lot before Elon was around. They would just find different accounts, different tags that you would use, and they would just mute it. They would tone down. So let's say you had 10,000 followers. 10,000 people would not see it. They'd throttle back on the exposures you'd get to minimal. So this was, again, centralized platforms can do this. If they don't like what you're
or like the tag Hive, we could do 100,000 tweets with Hive in it, and we wouldn't trend because it's shadow ban. So you're not seen outside your ecosystem. You're just basically in an echo chamber.
Right.
Yeah. That's essentially what you're doing.
Thank you for the question, though. Appreciate it. Tokenized up. Hardfork 23 created Hive as we know it, but the old chain is still accessible. Does it mean that the versions of Hive prior to the current hard fork is also still accessible? If not, why are the situations different? So he's asking anything before that. Well, everything is still there.
Yeah, anything that was developed from the Genesis block and created from the Genesis block through March 20th of 2020 is on both chains. All the data is the same in terms of what was created. Since 2020, anything that was done on Hive is not on Steem. Any changes to the base layer that has been done in subsequent hard forks on Hive is not on Steem. And some of that may have gone back and changed some of the base layer coding before the hard fork. Now, it doesn't change any of the data. It doesn't change any of the blocks. The blocks are still there. But, we added the 30-day window for staking, powering up Hive before you get governance. That's not on Steem. That's on Hive. So they're the same till you get to the fork, and then you have different development teams. And what Block Trades and Hou and Gandalf and the rest of the crew have done since the 20th of March, 2020, we've had 2 hard forks, I think. All that change in code is not on Steem. But before that, all the information is duplicated. It's the same.
Yep. Great question. Love knowing the history. John Tim says, do you think there will come a time when someone will try to marry an AI? If so, when do you think it will happen? Well, Task, has anyone asked you to marry them? Because we know you're a machine and you're AI and you're Max Headroom's uncle.
No, neither human, neither animal nor AI has requested my hand in matrimony, at least this week. Who knows?
People didn't this chick marry? She legally is in a relationship with the Eiffel Tower. This was like a couple weeks ago. It was like,
well, there was a meme going around. I don't know how serious it is, but there's going to be people who do shit with robots and say, I'm in love with my robot. And, I love this robot that works at the local, whatever factory. And, who knows? It's whatever. People, if you can think about it, somebody's going to try it. There's a reason why there's warning labels on products that say don't do this. The reason is somebody did it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, don't take this and stick it in an electrical outlet. Well,
was it the urban legend about the coffee and being sued at McDonald's? Was that the start of the caution hot warning?
I don't know if it was. It wasn't a urban legend. That was an actual lawsuit from McDonald's. Cost $5 million. I don't know if that was the start of the caution hot warning. I don't know where that started.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me that stuff is questioned. You need to be told that this is a hot beverage. Blows my mind. Anyways, John Timms again. He's like I said, he's on fire today with the questions. He said, let's say the Bitcoin ETF, spot ETF, finally gets approved in the US one day, how long do you think it will be before it flips to gold ETF GLD in terms of market cap? GLD is around 56 billion currently.
Well, don't forget, you're going to be dealing with different ETFs. So are you talking collectively? And GLD or GOLD, there's two ETFs for gold, two big ones. The thing is, you're going to have a lot of different ones. So if you're talking collectively reaching 56 billion, I mean, I don't know. That could happen in the first year. You could have 100 billion easily flown into spot ETFs, Bitcoin spot ETFs. I don't think you'll have one like BlackRock or Grayscale that'll be, bigger than gold than the GLD. But, you're going to have 20 billion here, 10 billion there, 25 there. And collectively, I could see them in the first year doing 100 billion, especially if you get a bull market. You get a bull market going. 100 billion could flow in. I mean, don't forget, you got something like BlackRock. I mean, they got 10, 11 trillion. So, if they sit there and say, Mr. Wealthy Investor, put like 0.5% or of your portfolio in this, or 0.1%, you take 0.1% of even $5 trillion, that's, a lot of money. That's like 50 billion. So that's the type of numbers you're talking about. And that's really where this game just gets insane.
It's insanity. It's just crazy. John Tim says, is Meta Threads the new Google Plus, or does it have staying power? I think it has staying power because, I think it has staying power because of a few things. First of all, Google Plus that was their foray into social. So they really didn't know what the hell they're doing.
They still
Meta
don't
knows what they're doing.
They still don't.
Yeah, no, not true. But I mean, like, Facebook knows what it's doing. Instagram is a perfect example. They bought Instagram for I think it's $1 billion. It's valued for 20 billion or something now. I mean, they know social media. So I think it has staying power just on the brand that the family tree it comes from. Now, is it a Twitter alternative? I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't. I never liked Instagram, but I get why people like Instagram. I was just never a fan of it. But that's the market it's catering to. So that's why it's going to have staying power. The new Twitter, it's not going to be a new Twitter per se. It's just going to be this newer generation's version of what they think Twitter should be. And they'll turn Threads into its own thing. I can't stand, again, I'm not trying to be too harsh on it, but it's such an awful experience. If you're expecting Twitter, if you want Instagram, that's what it is. Do Instagram with words. But I think it will have staying power. I don't know if it'll be of the brand of something like a TikTok or something like that, but it'll be around.
Yeah, I think just the fact, I mean, I said this last time, 2.5 or 3 billion users. I mean, you got that many accounts.
Yeah.
You're going to get something. And so, Marky Mark, not our Marky Mark, but Marky Mark Zuckerberg's out there, promoting, saying, "Oh, look, we got 100 million downloads." And it's like, big fucking deal. You got 3 billion users. 100 million is not very impressive. It's I mean, it'll do well because it's tied into that family, but it'll just be a fourth app on the Facebook family. And like John was already saying, there's the same bullshit. You're bowing the knee to Zuckerberg, and you stray the slightest bit, you're zapped. And
excommuned.
Yeah, and the simple fact of the matter is, I don't think they're gonna. Everybody's saying the Twitter killer. People don't even know what Twitter is going to be, because Musk is far beyond what most people think. And as I said before, John, close your ears. he puts payments on there. Now all of a sudden you start talking the market cap of PayPal. He starts to get other financial services tied in. You start looking at the market cap of some of these banks. So that's really where he's going. He's not fucking around with social media. He actually understands the merging of social media and finance. He's just trying to do it in a Web 2 way. And that's where I say he'll be successful in the Web 2 world, but he won't be able to compete in the Web 3 world.
Right. Good point. John Timms wants to know, is Django given up on play-to-earn games? Or is it just a lack of time thing? A little bit of both. I mean, I mess with TerraCore and Rising Star, but it's not like it doesn't take my day up. They're idle games, so it's like, oh yeah, hey, I go click, get a little bit of crypto as a side benefit. But it's not like to the levels of Splinterlands where it was like it took over my life, and I bought T-shirts, and I still have the stuffed animal. That's the only Splinterlands product. No, that's a lie. Big shout out, a friend of the show. But Chris, geez, I always forget his name. Reseller, geez, like Chris. He sent you and I those Splinterlands things, right? That's all I have left. So it died a very quick death for me, and it's a lack of time now. So more on that later. I know this has been asked ad nauseum, but when is the ad revenue report? Any firm date? Do we know anything from the AMA? Did Cal mention anything? Any?
Very soon, he said. I asked the question in the Threadcast, so
that's the answer you got?
That's the answer I got. Very soon.
Very soon. I love it. So it wasn't just well, I guess it's not just soon, it's very soon.
Yeah, or maybe he's just trying to say something different that, what does soon mean? Is soon like 6 to 8 weeks? So very soon is 4 to 6 weeks? I don't know. It's a sliding scale. Everything's relative. I have no idea. So, yeah, I mean, we're all just anxiously awaiting. And in the meantime, just keep clicking on threads.
Manu stopped by and he wanted to know some advice for a parent for the first time.
Well, the advice that I give you, you should have asked 9 months ago. Now it's kind of late to get the proper advice. Like, just say no, wrap it up. Just Google it, man. I mean, we don't give financial advice, and I'm certainly not going to give parenting advice because I'm worse at that than I am at trading.
Start young. That would be my advice.
No, that you give them credit.
Start young. Don't do what I did. I did 16 years between my first and second. That's always fun. But no, seriously, it's fantastic, man. It's a great experience. It's just don't think you're gonna know it all. Like, all the advice in the world is completely useless when the kid is crying at 2 a.m. Like, you'll find things that will help you navigate it, but enjoy it, man. It goes by very quickly. There you go. He also said, have you guys seen the 2 new security features in the keychain extension? I have not. Did you, Task?
No.
I'm not familiar with it, sir. So any news about that would be greatly appreciated. Our good friend Nifty showed up. This is definitely question of the day. This is the highlight of the night for me so far. How much ad revenue worth of Leo Power will I generate with feet pics on a monthly basis, if you had to estimate?
Well, we're kind of blind here because we don't know what Nifty's feet look like. But if they're decent looking feet, I think Nifty's going to generate, at least hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars with his feet pick. Now, if he has gnarly feet, he may double that because, people are just, he'll put that in the ultra fetish category.
Ultra fetish.
I know Nifty. He's trying to position his what is it called? Leo fans account.
Leo fans, yes.
His Leo fans account.
Only Lions.
Only Lions. Yeah, he's trying to position his account for maximum success. So he's thinking this out. Give Nifty credit.
I'm definitely not knocking the hustle. Do your
Yes.
thing, Nifty.
Yes, he's road mapping it out like everybody should do, and he's concentrating on his brand.
Make your money, man. Make your money, whatever way you seem fit. And finally, we got Captain Silva. This is Nelson. He said, "Do you guys plan, or have you already watched the movie that came out this week, Sounds of Freedom?" I'm familiar with it, but I have not watched it. That being said, I haven't watched a damn movie in years, like any movie.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it just because, people went apeshit over it in the United States trying to get it banned. So obviously that'll just gather my attention when, the mainstream's knocking something. That's when, hey, I got to take a look at this. But no, I haven't seen it. I presume it's in theaters or something like that, but no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I do know about it. But you gotta love anytime someone says that something is gonna be banned, what the reaction is from different people. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you go to the adult sites. What's the most visited tag? Taboo. The stuff that it's like, don't look at this. That's where everybody's going. So, the old reverse marketing. It's like, tell them they can't have it, and what do they want? I want that. Right. No, you can't have that. I want that.
I'll pay you extra for it. Okay, it's yours.
Yeah. I want the car in that color. You can't have that. You got to have this one.
Yeah.
I'll pay you 10 grand extra. Make it 15 and we'll give it to you. Okay. That's how it works.
Captain Silva said there's big money for trans feats this day and age. And then Nifty follows it up with, well, you did technically say the word fungus.
So Nifty can say that he has male feet, but they feel feminine. So he can charge double for that.
Crazy. Just go over a few of the numbers here from the Threadcast. We always appreciate it. We had 24 comments, 46 views, which was 0.99 Leo. So if we just got a couple more views, it'd be a full Leo. VAD revenue. So share that link. Share that Threadcast. I guess it's a good time. We kind of were talking before we went live, kind of like the state of Cryptomaniacs going forward. My life, I officially have been rebranded as Trucker John going forward. So I don't think I'm going to post from the John G. Olsen account anymore. I think I'm going to start Trucker John and just post videos of me dodging traffic in North America. It sounds like a plan.
You should get some great threading material, some nice pictures to thread.
I plan on it.
Here's the sign. Welcome to St. Louis.
Yep.
Here's the arch. Here's, a car crash in Minnesota in the snowbank. All kinds of fun stuff.
I cannot wait. But yeah, so how it's going to go forward, we got to play it by ear for the next couple of weeks just because my schedule is kind of wonky. I'm going to be on the road, but I don't know my schedule yet. Being a long haul truck driver now, I'm official. I ended my training today, so the next call I get, I'm on the road. I got my truck and everything, man. It's got a sleeper cab in it. It's got a fridge. Got a little place I could put a TV. It's very nice, Task.
Sounds like heaven on wheels.
I will have a disco ball spinning in it. But yeah.
Hey, dude, we were talking about 80s music. You need a couple of the dice hanging from the dashboard.
Oh, heck yeah.
Or not the dashboard, from the mirror.
Yes.
You don't have rear view mirror in trucks, so.
No, but I can still staple it or something. I'll stick it up.
Tape it to the windshield just so you have dice hanging down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So my life is going to be kind of on the road, literally going forward.
And Thread, when you're like sitting in the middle of your first 3.5 hour traffic jam going into some city.
Well, apparently the company I work for doesn't really head into major metro areas. Like the biggest metro areas we deal with is in Canada. So, yeah, it'll be a pain in the butt, but it'll mostly be Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton.
Well, not only in cities. I mean, you get on fucking highways that, have 10 miles of traffic backed up because, an oil tanker flipped over. And,
or the watermelons crashed and they're covered the highway with juice. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So, then you're sitting there for 4 hours and not moving. And you'll be threading.
Yep.
2 hours and 15 minutes gone by and haven't moved an inch.
Yep.
3 hours gone by.
Still here. I will thread it. But yeah, so we're still doing the shows, but we're not exactly sure. I can't say, hey, we're going to go live streaming on Thursday night because I might be here in front of the computer and I might be in Nebraska. So we got to play it by ear just so I kind of get a better judge of my schedule. But we will still be here doing the shows. It's just the live streams tentatively will let you guys know for the next couple of weeks. So if you could bear with us, apologies. I just, if I got 10,000 customers paying me, it'd be no problem. I could, or crypto go to the moon, whichever one will come first. Crypto to the moon, probably. Yeah.
Don't know. We've been sitting in over a year and a half, about 20 months in this bear market, and still seems to keep going.
Yeah. No, Nelson, I don't go that far east. Furthest east we go is like Manitoba. So we might go into Northern Ontario, but I won't be down Southern Ontario yet. Anyways, not yet. But this is mostly Western Canada and Western states where I do my duty. So anyways, good show, man. Anything coming up that you know of on the blockchain that we should be putting our ear to the street for, other than being more active on threads?
Yeah, no, I don't know of anything anybody's mentioned.
There you go. So now is the dog days of summer. Just get out there and be active, and your future self will thank you. That's Task. I'm John Go. You guys have a good day. Toodles.
Ciao.